Today on Pidini doing stuff and filming it, this door's a bit fucked. Suppose I best do something about that. That was a quick summary of what we're doing and why we're doing it. Now, this is the upstairs bathroom door. Now, I've brought this outside partly because it's a lovely sunny day again, and being out here it gives me the space to work on something this big. Now, what's happened is mainly here, the upper hinge, you can see down here, it's split and cracked. I know, Bella, I know. And yeah, and what that means is where these screws, and you can see the crack goes right through the screw holes, it opened the hole and then there was no purchase, so the screws were just pulling out of it. It's not a solid door, it's hollow, which is unfortunate. Now when I moved in here I was told that these were solid, but they're obviously not, but whatever, no one can do about it now. And it's actually started to happen on the bottom hinge down here as well, not as bad though. But yeah, it's just one of those things, the door's swung open a bit too far, with a bit too much force at one point, and unfortunately it's then cracked the door down the hinge. Yeah, let's see. Oh, if we look on this end here, look, you can see what I mean. It's just, yeah, there's nothing to it. I mean, it looks like it's got this polystyrene in it, but that doesn't mean anything. And yeah, what's been happening slowly over time, so I've been putting off this job for a while, is these holes have gotten wider and wider, and eventually the door started to drop, and then the other day it came away completely. Now, part of the problem with this design of door is you can't just put in bigger screws because there's nothing there. Now, these are the screws here that it was originally held up with. I tried much bigger ones and they worked for a while, but the holes just got bigger and it didn't work. So, and putting longer ones in doesn't work either because there's only a few millimeters of wood for them to actually go in. Once they go through the other side, they're just in empty space, so most of your screw isn't actually doing anything. So yeah, now I did try putting a screw in on this side, see if that'll help hold it together, but that hasn't worked. Now, looking at it, if we look at the end here, there's actually that's a reasonable amount of timber. Get it to focus properly, but it still doesn't seem all that good for holding up an entire door. So the plan is we're going to try and remove this section here with this end piece and put a thicker piece in. I've got some spare offcuts, and if I can make the door solid in this section, I know, Archer, I know. Who's a good boy? Yeah, who's a good boy? Yes. Then, yeah, with solid timber behind here, we'll be able to put proper strong wood screws in, and I'll also be able to put stuff going this way to help hold the door together, because, you know, in case it happens again. In case it swings open too far, we'll have a lot more strength here. The bottom hinge I'm not overly concerned about. We'll do that one if there's time, but the main concern is this top hinge here. So we're gonna get all his tools out, get set up, obviously get all my camera angles right as well, and then we'll crack on with it, because at the moment there's no door to the bathroom, so everyone can see me shit, which is less than ideal. So let's get on with it. First opportunity to use my workbench as well. Sorry, not first, second opportunity. I did do an unboxing and review video of this. Link will be in the description. Should do the job. This is the bit of wood that we'll use. It's a piece of the decking that I ripped up. That's subject of another video, also link in the description. The plan is, I think if I cut this in half, because I don't need all of this, it is the same thickness as the door. Yeah. Yeah, so the plan is, where these screws have nothing to hold on to, they will now have this to screw into. And I can also then put a bracket across here, keeping those pieces pressed together. like that. Yeah. That should work well. So I'll pull that there for now. Let's finish getting his tools out. So I need to remove this section. Probably just gonna have to pull this out and cut it up. And then we need to cut this up and screw it in. Yeah. If I can find the right tools, Christ knows where they've gone, this should be a reasonably quick and easy job. Move that to there. Go. Right. Now this saw was left behind by the previous owner of the house. I've kept it. It's a bit, maybe a bit on the rusty side, but it does the job. So I'm just gonna, doesn't need to be neat because this isn't really going to be visible once it's inside the door, but yeah, I want to just cut it in half for now. So go. It's good solid timber. Excellent. Right. Let's get this door apart now, shall we? Now the way this is made, there's this bit sits on the outside. So what I want to try and do is prise the bits off without breaking them. Then I can get this section out. The question is how to do that. Cannot for the life of me find my nice chisels. They'd have been perfect for this. I've put them somewhere safe and I've forgotten where they are. Actually, that's doing the trick nicely. When in doubt, use a fucking screwdriver. There we go. That's what we want. I just want to pop this bit off and out. There we go. That in there. Okay, right, I see the problem. Find myself some pliers. I think what we're going to have to do is cut this lengthways as well, because it won't go in all the way. You've got this design on here, it's interfering with it, which is no good. So we're going to basically just cut it in half. Should be simple enough to do. The door is stuffed with these bits of polystyrene. I don't know why, if it's sound deadening or to make it appear to be a solid door when it obviously isn't. Who knows? Okay, right. Let's do a bit more cutting. Oh, yeah, I've just realised. Let me go and get it. I bought a fucking apron specifically for jobs like this. Got some serious Adam Savage vibes here, but yeah. Like this, you put this on like this, and then you straighten it up like that. Look at that. I'm a big fan of Adam Savage. He also has his own YouTube channel, obviously vastly more popular than mine. No one actually watches mine. I just do it for the giggles. He does it for a living. Yeah, look at that. I've got pockets and all my tools and such like. That, I don't know why I got that out. This is a tool that has a single use. I'll explain what it's for later. Yeah, look, you can put things in there. Yeah, bloody hell, buy these things, don't use them. Right, okay, where was I? I was doing some sewing. So I want, yeah, probably that much wood, if I'm honest. That should be more than enough. Okay. That fits nicely right in there. Well, kind of nicely if we didn't have all this fucking polystyrene glued to the inside. Scrape all that away. Clamp. Clamp this in place. I'm going to put some screws through in the meantime. Maybe not the neatest job in the world. It'll be okay. Need to go in the bin. Let's go in some proper screws, shall we? Right, so we'll use these screws. Come over and show you. We'll use these. They're just about the same thickness as the door. We'll put 3 on either side. Going in that way, and they'll help hold this piece of wood steady and stop the door from being pulled outwards. And then the hinge screws can go directly into it. So let's do that. Kind of refreshing beverage whilst I'm at it. There we go. I say not the prettiest, but that's not going anywhere, that's for sure. Besides, once it's hanging up, you're not going to be able to see this unless you would look for it. I suppose what I could do is insert that bit back in. Yeah. I saw that off. We can glue that bit back in. It won't look quite so horrible. Yeah, I've got a pencil. Look, you'd never know it was any different. If I can just find my wood glue. Actually, no, I threw away the wood glue. Fuck's sake. It'll just stay wedged in there for now. It's not going to be bearing any load anymore, so that should be okay. And if it looks like these screws here, the 6 that I've put in aren't enough, we can always put more in because we know that the wood is solid there. You can tell now. Right, let's do the same with the other end, shall we? You know something, this bottom bit's not nearly as bad as the other. I mean, it has split slightly, but I think that split has only come about because the top hinge gave way and suddenly all the load was on this. And so when you hang a door, the hinges in theory take the weight evenly. But if you're going to have a hinge fail, you want it to be the bottom one, because then the weight of the door will swing into the door frame. In this case, because it was the top one that failed, these 3 tiny screws and this weak wood were then holding up the entire weight of the door, and it was leveraging itself off. So if I hadn't been careful, it would have broke off entirely. So I think that split is actually only because of the other one breaking off. So what I might do, yeah, I think rather than break it all apart, we'll see how it goes, because it's still relatively intact. Yeah, we'll hang it up as is and we'll keep an eye on that hinge. If we have to take it off again at a later date and do it again, then so be it. It hasn't taken very long. So yeah, let's go and get it back together, shall we? Alright, let's do that. So yeah, quick close up of what I've done. You know what, in the cold light of day, I don't think that looks too bad actually. If we come a bit closer, it's a bit rough. I mean, I've used a piece of decking wood, which is why you've got these little cutouts in it. And if we look at it from this angle, you can see it wasn't quite the same thickness, so it's sort of pulling the door in. But that's going to be inside the door frame, and the door frame will hide the screws as well. So that's not actually half bad. I've been at this half an hour, including finding all my tools and remembering my rather sexy apron. So yeah, let's go get it hung up and see how it looks. Right, let's get it hung up. Oh, there it goes. So we're going to have to support the door, which we shall do with these bits of wood. Yeah, that's where we want it, I think. It needs to be a bit higher. First screw is always the hardest to get right. There we go. Bottom one. See if that works. it's a thing of beauty. Oh, I have a door that works. No more watching me poop. That's not going anywhere either. That's what we like. The bottom one's still a bit suspect, but it's working. Sweet. Job's a good one. Quick close up. Now that's where the repair is. Now obviously you can see the 3 screws there. And if you step back, you know, they're sort of visible, but they're partially obscured by the door frame. Which, it's not the end of the world. If it bothered me, I could just put a little bit of white paint over each one and that'd hide it nicely. And the bottom one we didn't do anything with. The important bit is, it now works. Look at that. I'll come inside. Whoop. Again, you can see the 3 screws, but other than that, it looks the same as it did, and it works. Oh, I even got that lined up as well. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice the door isn't fitting perfectly in the door frame. If I'm honest, it never has. And the reason being is this door frame isn't completely square. Now, if you look at the top here, you can see with those tiles, there's a bigger gap here between the frame and the roof than there is here. And if you look on the outside, at the bottom of this door, see, there's a big gap there between the door and the tiles when the door is open. And then when you close it, it's actually a reasonably snug fit. Looks even better on the outside with the carpet. But it's not a normal door frame size. If we look at the other doors, like say the bedroom door. Hello, Bella. Notice there's a sizable chunk more wood down the bottom. That's because that one's had to be cut down to fit. I know, it works now, doesn't it, Bella? We've had a bit of a mess of the carpet in the process though, haven't we? But, well, you'll notice here at the top as well, you look, it doesn't fit perfectly in the door frame either, and down the bottom. But again, that's just because it's not square. It's always been like that, nothing we can do about it. Important part is, it closes properly. Excellent. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must take a shit. One more thing, just realised I never did explain what this tool was for. Now, in the video, I was going to try and use it to prise the 2 bits of wood open, because it opens up like that. But that's not its actual purpose. This is a tool that's designed to do one job, and unfortunately it's like literally a 30-second job. Now, as you can probably tell by the design, it was designed to prise things open. And if we look on the end here, you can see it's got little cutouts on each of these prongs to make sure the thing that you're opening opens, doesn't slip off. So now you may be thinking, well, why can't you do that with a pair of pliers or something like that? And the answer was, well, you can, but I've yet to find a pair of pliers that opens far enough. This opens really quite far. So, yeah, as we can see on there. And what it does, it's designed for the clamp that holds this rubber seal on your washing machine. I'll get around to emptying this in a minute. If we look, see if we can find it. Ah, there it is. If you would look, holding this seal on, it's this metal band, and it goes all the way around, and there's this spring here. Now, I still, for the life of me, don't know how it came off, but This bracket came off away from the lip. There's a metal lip where it attaches to the body of the actual washing machine. And the seal then came away, which unfortunately then had two effects. One, we couldn't shut the door properly. So then, of course, the machine refused to work because it could sense that the door wasn't closed, which is, you know, quite dangerous. And even if I did manage to get the seal on in such a way that allowed me to shut the door, as soon as the machine filled up with water, it just came straight out the front and we had a massive flood. So, yeah, I tried for such a long time. And you've got to, the way you get it on is you have to prise this gasket open, prise this clamp open, and then put it around and let it go, and it clamps shut, and it holds this in place. Because this, like I say, it's not going anywhere, isn't this? It's designed to really seal on. So I've no idea how it came off in the first place, but it did. But yeah, you will never get that open wide enough without this specialist tool. And this is used only for fixing washing machines and only for doing this exact repair. So I've ordered this, I used it once for 30 seconds, and it seems a shame to throw away a brand new tool, so I just keep it now and I don't use it. But yeah, what you do is you put it in the little prongs on the spring. I'm not going to do it for real because it'll break my washing machine. And then you pull it and it opens up this clamp, you put it into place, and then you let go and it clamps this around. So yeah, that's what that tool is for. Shut my washing machine. And yeah, that's it. I've used it once and never again, and I've not found any other purpose for it. It has a single purpose. It does that job very well. And if you were working in washing machine repair, I'm sure you would have one of these. But yeah, I can't remember how much it was. I'll see if I can find it on eBay. And if I do find it, I'll put a link in the description, the price on the screen now. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I just realised I never explained what this is for. Other than that, thank you for watching.